So Vince, as I said, it's fairly informal. We'll start with that. But I can tell you, welcome to Zagreb. That's really nice.
It's a nice place. Yeah.
But if we go back 5 years ago, what was the motivator for you for choosing a system? Mm-hmm. What was the motivator, and how did you end up coming to Oradian?
Yeah, we had, we were in a very difficult situation at the time. I remember we had a microfinance software from India, which was not working very well, and half of our branches were doing manual encoding, manual record keeping, collection sheets, and all these things, and so we really, they had several tries there. They tried to speed things up, but it was quite difficult, no? And
so I can imagine then, being manual, obviously, I think it was difficult to grow, it was difficult to consolidate.
Yes, a lot of human mistakes and all these things, and inaccuracies and all this. It was really, and even the consolidation of over the back office was really problematic. So I think the way I got introduced to Oradian was our former head of MIS met one of your, I forgot his name, he was a French guy.
Nicholas.
Nicholas, yeah.
Yes.
Nicholas, yeah. Nicholas. He was the guy who closed the deal.
Okay, yeah.
So Nicholas was, he went to Iloilo, we met, and he showed, he made a demo and showed us some of the features. And what really struck me then was, in our previous vendor, it was very, very difficult to even define a loan product, the parameters and all these things. And that was one thing I made him demonstrate. If I wanted a loan product, and this was the interest rate, this was the term and all these things. And he was able to do it in less than 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and he was showing this, and then all the reports, all the real-time, reports that was coming in, the dashboard and all these things. So this was really very, it was quite.
That's obviously meant a lot of growth. Has it, if you look back, would you say that there was a key thing in your position today? And how do you see the future in terms of, what do you want to be doing next?
Yeah, undoubtedly we grew quite well during those 4 to 5 years of using the system, and I think we were less than we were a little more than 200,000 borrowers. Now we're almost 500,000 at that time. Yeah. So
quite a big growth.
Perfect, and we still intend to grow. So we're doing. I think we now have the core microfinance software, and we have the banking system is there. We have the messaging, we have the field officer app. So, but that thing done for our internal processes is okay. We'd like to do more for the clients, like making it easy for them. We'd like to link to a mobile app. So, and maybe one thing I realized is we were able to grow to this number, using, but then we have to, because of the pandemic and everything, it became very, very obvious that we have to continue to do the work we do, even without really engaging on a face-to-face with clients.
Financial services need to continue even if you don't have human engagement.
Yeah, I think human engagement. Yes, I think you mentioned it before. High tech and high touch.
So when we look forward, I mean, one of the things that the team have asked me around about is, so how's the relationship going? Because when I look at what we've done together, we're growing strength by strength, we're doing more things. You know, what's that been like in terms of, I don't know, strategy? What's it been like in terms of planning? How are you, do you feel you're getting, what are you getting from Oradian? How's that working?
Yeah, you know, one thing I think I can highlight the after sales service of Oradian. Yeah. You know, anything that we ask for, there's that support that we get 24/7. So that's very important. I mean, sometimes in the field, you know, in operations, you will be met with certain issues, certain concerns, what we want to do with the software and all these things. So we always relay this to Oradian, and they've been very helpful. They've been helping us how to work around or how to manage the system better. And lately, I think the last 2 years, they've been helping out in trying to understand our business better, and trying to propose solutions, technological solutions to our issues and concerns, and in that way, like for example, now we have this strong drive for our digital transformation, and they're there. I mean, and we just finished our discussion, and they're looking forward to you know, to partnering with us on this journey. You know, helping us to do this.
So Vince, in terms of some of the offerings, both with the foundation or with the bank, what are some of the key products that you've been able to offer your customers, and did you find that you were able to do that in an easier environment, being in the cloud compared to the previous operations?
Yeah, you know, basically our methodology started with only one single loan product. We call it the project loan. These are small loans given to enterprising poor women, and of course there was also the saving mobilization component. So there was one savings product and one loan product. And when we were able to engage with InstaFin, and we found it very flexible in creating. We started conducting, you know, like client needs assessment. We did some focus group discussions on several areas of our program, and we found out that they needed some, you know, educational loan. They needed the house repair loan. They needed multi-purpose loan. So we were able to do that easily with the system, with the loan creation of loan product. And lately we did some in partnership with the IOM, the International Organization for Migration, from the UN. They made us a partner to pilot resilient housing for, you know, typhoons and all these things. So we have what we call in Tagalog, it's bahay matibay, or a strong house. If you translate that in English, if you translate that to English, bahay matibay loan. So we have that, and then we, in partnership also with Water.org, it's a U.S.-based organization. Headed by this actor, Matt Damon.
Yes.
Yeah, the Water.org. We have that loan product for wash. We call it a wash loan. It's a waters, sanitation, and hygiene type of loan. Needed. It was. It's taken up very well by the clients, and it has grown. No? So we have these several loan products.
And then when it comes to idea to launch a product, how long does that process take you?
When they try to craft the policies and all these things, you know, and try to study together with, maybe that thing would take us like maybe a month or two to try to come up with the package, and but to put it you know, in the system, it only take 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Well, it changes things from before.
Yeah.
And so, what's your vision for the? I mean, you mentioned digitization or digital transformation, and you've obviously started, and we've come a long way.
Yeah.
What's your vision for the next 5 years?
You know, our vision is really to grow the program. No? We're now more than 500,000. We're 530,000. We plan to grow, maybe to double that in the next 5 years. Maybe grow to 1 million clients. But we also understand that when you grow that much, the operations gets really dispersed. No? So systems sometimes, control sometimes gets watered down as you grow. So the challenge would be how to tighten the control, still have those controls in place while you continue to expand and grow. And I think technology will be a big help there.
Critical for
And
us,
that's how we want to move forward with that. We have the core banking system and all these things. And then set other applications that would help us monitor our operations, better control our process.
Organization as it grows.
Yeah.
And you mentioned to me you want to be moving the strategy of the business to be part of that growth is also reaching new customers who wouldn't have been in the traditional channels, being mobile first. How important is that for you? And you know, what are the steps that you feel that are going to get you to achieve those strategic objectives?
Actually, you know, the first time that I realized segmentation of our clients, I mean, we have this micro insurance provider. So he gave us a very short analysis of the aging of our clients. Because of my people who enroll with microinsurance. And we found out that a large number of our clients are now in their 40s, late 50s, going to the 60s. And only a very few, maybe 5-10% of our clients are now below 30. So we're slowly seeing that this changing. So the thing there that was proposed, discussed at the board level was how to make our system more attractive to this younger set of people, the millennials and all. Because our policy is if we have a microfinance member who surpasses the age limit, they can take in their daughter or their son or whatever.
So basically bringing in new members.
Yeah. But then this next generation, prospective members, I don't think they would want to go to weekly group meetings and the way we do our usual methodology. I think they'd be more comfortable with smartphones and the technology being used now with mobile. So we're wanting to go to, although we're still keeping this.
Keeping the existing customer base.
We're trying to create something that would be more attractive to this. It's a huge market that we have to tap, And the only way to do that is to leverage technology, I guess.
So being
mobile.
Becoming a fintech in many ways.
Yeah,
fintech
in that
first.
way. Yeah. And I think that's where it's moving. I can see some MFIs also trying to do that. Yeah.
When it comes down to tech, and as a leader of a group that is succeeding very well, that's growing very well, that has done fantastic transformation, going from where the roots of the business, I think you told me it was over 50 years ago the financial institution started. The group has expanded. You've taken on digitization. What would you say is really critical when you look at it from a tech point of view, and how should leaders think about technology? Is this for the IT department, or is this something that is strategic?
I think moving forward, you can see it everywhere, like in banking systems, in commercial banks, and even fintechs that are coming in. Technology is really the trend of the future. So if you don't catch up, then you're going to be left behind. So the board also realizes this. But it's important to have the right partner, I guess, when you're dealing with this. A partner that's supportive, that can offer a solid solution. In our case, like for example, Instafin, that's the core banking, where you get all the data from. If you use whatever app you want, it will always have to go back to the data that's there in your core banking system. So that one you have to take care of. That to me, and the only way to do that is to have a reliable partner that can support you in whatever way you want. If you have want to improve the system or develop something new and everything, they're there also to help you. And I guess that's to me very important.
What advice would you give to other financial institutions, be them rural banks or microfinance or fintechs? What from your experience of doing full digital transformation, from growing, you've had different systems, you're now in the cloud. What would be your kind of advice?
I think it all starts with a very good foundation. I've tried software before, and I think that should be the starting point. And we found that in Instafin. You have to have a very solid core banking system where all the data is stored and accounts of clients are there. And from there, generate all this information. Well, one thing with the reporting, it's very important for us, like for example in management and also to the board. One time I remember we had a board meeting and we called them as head, and the board just wanted to see what this thing was all about. So right there, in real time, that particular day, that particular hour, you have all the figures there, the dashboard and all. And I would think that they have to start with a good core banking system and from there build up. Yeah.